I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion.
Rachel Zegler was once the golden girl of Hollywood's next generation, with Disney placing a $200 million bet on her shoulders through the studio's highly anticipated live-action remake of Snow White. But now, what began as a dream role is unraveling into a stunning, chaotic fall from grace. Zegler has not just gone silent, she has vanished. According to reports, she has boarded an international flight and touched down in Dubai, leaving behind a swirl of rumors, angry executives, and a media firestorm that shows no sign of slowing down. Her sudden disappearance came at the most suspicious of times. Just days prior, Disney allegedly held an emergency internal meeting to discuss whether Rachel's behavior leading up to the Snow White release had legally breached her contract. Executives were reportedly exploring options from clawing back bonuses to pursuing direct financial restitution, potentially millions. The phrase morality clause began circulating behind the scenes, and sources claimed Disney believed her viral interviews, political statements, and dismissive attitude toward the original 1937 film had damaged the brand beyond repair. And then, poof, Rachel was gone. No press appearances, no red carpet events, no social media activity.
This story, Disney and all these media companies, they invest hundreds of millions of dollars into these.
Fans quickly noticed her absence and began speculating whether this was a PR retreat or something much more strategic. Private jet tracking data, deleted comments, and a scrubbed itinerary only fueled suspicions. Could Rachel be avoiding the press? Or is she ducking lawyers? The backlash against her has been mounting for months. During the press tour for Snow White, Rachel repeatedly called the original film outdated, criticized the prince as a stalker, and said the story wouldn't revolve around love anymore. While some praised her feminist angle, many Disney loyalists felt attacked. Her tone came off as arrogant, dismissive, and seemingly contemptuous of the beloved tale she was paid to headline. It wasn't just the content of what she said, but the way she said it. Clips went viral. Reaction videos dissected every moment. Hashtags like #BoycottSnowWhite exploded across Twitter and TikTok. It became less about updating a fairy tale and more about whether the lead actress even liked the material. Fans felt insulted. Viewers accused her of hating the very story she was hired to bring to life.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There is a big...
Then came the resurfaced political tweets, particularly one about Palestine, posted right after a promotional Disney tweet. For a studio built on neutrality and universal appeal, this was a nightmare. As the Snow White box office results trickled in, the worst-case scenario began to materialize. The film was a disaster. Estimates showed Disney might lose upwards of $250 million. Analysts labeled it one of the biggest flops in the company's history. And though there were creative decisions, script issues, and marketing blunders across the board, it was Zegler who bore the brunt of public fury. For better or worse, she had become the face of the controversy. It didn't help that an apology later surfaced on her account, one many believed didn't come from her. According to insiders, Disney's own PR division allegedly crafted the apology and instructed her to post it. The language felt polished, corporate, and hollow. Fans noticed. They said it lacked sincerity and emotional resonance. Instead of softening the outrage, it intensified the divide. Privately, insiders described Zegler as devastated. Some claim she was crying behind the scenes, overwhelmed by how fast her star collapsed.
It was an in-depth piece, like a behind-the-scenes piece, talking about how they've been in a full...
She was once projected to be a flagship talent for Disney, rumored to be leading future spin-offs, merchandise lines, and cross-brand appearances. Now, she's reportedly being distanced from by the very company that once marketed her as a game-changer. Some industry sources believe her career may enter a years-long hiatus. Others suggest legal teams are preparing for a battle. Within Disney, executives are scrambling. Damage control efforts have been relentless but ineffective. The company had expected the remake to emulate the success of Aladdin or Beauty and the Beast. Instead, it has landed closer to box office infamy. Creative decisions were questioned, particularly the removal of iconic moments and the absence of key elements like the prince or the classic love story. Viewers walked away feeling like the heart of Snow White had been surgically removed in favor of a message-heavy rewrite. And the anger didn't just come from conservative circles or nostalgic fans. Even moderate voices, including film critics and casual moviegoers, said the film lacked joy, charm, and whimsy. It felt cold, overcorrected, sterile, and Zegler's interviews, which should have been exciting and gracious, often felt combative or dismissive. It only deepened the impression that the film wasn't just a miss, it was a misunderstanding of what makes Disney stories endure. Meanwhile, other projects that had previously considered Zegler as a lead are now quietly re-evaluating. Producers, wary of controversy, don't want to gamble their films on a polarizing name. Trade publications are reporting that several major productions have pulled back. And although no official statement has been made, Rachel's complete silence suggests that something serious is unfolding behind the curtain. Some believe this is all just temporary, that with enough time and a well-executed comeback, Rachel could reclaim her narrative. Hollywood is full of redemption stories. Others aren't so optimistic. They argue that in today's climate, when public opinion turns this sharply, recovery becomes a long and uncertain process. Adding to the complexity is her rumored rift with Gal Gadot. The two stars, who once smiled together at events, are now allegedly distant. Some say Gal has also grown frustrated with the backlash. Others claim entire scenes were cut due to behind-the-scenes tension. Disney is reportedly unsure where to go next, whether to lean into the chaos, try to salvage the film with a revised cut, or cut their losses entirely and distance the brand. And then there's Dubai, Zegler's rumored destination. A glamorous, global city far removed from the paparazzi and pundits of Los Angeles. Is it a retreat for rest, or a calculated move to reset away from legal eyes and flashing cameras? No one knows for sure. Her team has refused to comment. Disney has remained silent. The reaction across Hollywood has been mixed. Some sympathize, saying she was thrown to the wolves by a studio unprepared to support her through controversy. Others argue that she lit the fire herself with careless statements and an attitude that seemed to challenge, rather than cherish, the legacy she inherited. In the end, Rachel Zegler's current silence speaks louder than any interview. Whether it's the calm before a calculated return or the pause of someone emotionally and professionally exhausted, her absence is impossible to ignore. The longer she stays quiet, the more theories multiply. The more questions emerge. The more it seems this story is far from over. What happens next could shape not just the end of this saga, but her entire future in the industry. Will she return triumphantly with a fresh project and a new image? Or will the Snow White disaster mark a defining before and after in her career, a cautionary tale about branding, backlash, and the high stakes of representing an icon? What do you think? Is Rachel Zegler hiding something, or simply trying to survive the most intense PR meltdown in modern Disney history? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want more on Hollywood chaos, celebrity scandals, and the fallout of entertainment's biggest disasters, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because this one's just getting started.